Hello, I'm Bartling, and I certainly hope that you and yours are having yourself a sunnier, warmer day. You know, I was getting some feedback more than once. Kind of went like this. So now, I do not know what kind of connections you have, but a warmer day, sunnier, warmer day in the triple digits, hey, that's enough already. Can you hold off on your wishes? So, welcome to Dow's Weekly Digest. Kind of like the old Reader's Digest. And I understand some of you may have to Google that. But one of the themes of the Reader's Digest was you never would know what they were going to cover on the next edition. So, again, welcome to Dow's Weekly Digest. Well, it continues. The older I am, the more that I think. And this week, I've been thinking about sponges. Yes, sponges. Now, not the cartoon one that lives in a pineapple under the sea, but a real-life, humble, everyday sponge. Now, when someone says that person's a sponge, it's usually not a compliment. You might think of someone who mooches off others, takes and never gives. You're at a restaurant, and guess who's going to pick up the tab? Maybe they live into their middle 40s in their mom's basement, and not because they're caring for them, if you know what I mean. A sponge. But today, I want to reclaim that word. I say, be a sponge. I'm talking about the right kind of sponge. The kind that one of my mentors, Don Means, once encouraged me to be. Don was a brilliant, advanced underwriting consultant. I had the privilege to be mentored by Don and others in Sioux City, Iowa. We both went to Wayne State College. Shout out to my fellow Wildcats. He was sharp. Don taught me many things. For example, Don taught me about the legendary Wembley Tie Company. They had the genius that they had a guide on the back of their ties. It told you exactly what color suit to wear with it. Always with a white shirt. Simple, elegant, and foolproof. I swear, Don probably never had a bad day in his life. His desk looked like a filing cabinet mated with a compass. Papers coming in on the left, papers going out on the right, and everything precisely aligned, almost like the planets. I said, Don, I wish I could crack open your brain like a walnut and pour out all your wisdom into mine. He smiled and says, well, Dow, that's not how it works. It takes time. And you've got to be a sponge. Now think about it. What does a sponge do? A sponge absorbs. It absorbs. It soaks up what's around it. And in life, we have that same opportunity to soak up wisdom, experience, and insight from the people and situations around us. But here's the trick. We have to be willing to absorb. That means being teachable, being curious. It means not saying, I already know enough to make a judgment. Trust me, the moment you say that, you're in trouble. There was a young preacher who watched an older member who sat in the front row, one of the front rows. And every Sunday, it seemed, halfway through his sermon, that member would fall asleep. Sunday after Sunday, until it kind of got to the young preacher. My judgment is this member must think that my sermons are totally boring. And so he falls asleep. Now, however, one Sunday, the gentleman wasn't there. So at the end of the service, the young pastor asked the member's wife, "Is he all okay?" And she says, "Oh, thanks so much for asking, Pastor. You see, Frank has a slow-growing cancer, and he takes pain medicine. And recently, they increased his dosage very much. He so loves your sermons, even though he can only stay awake for part of them. In fact, Pastor, he watches the parts he misses each Sunday on streaming at home. Your sermons are a blessing for what he's been going through." That teachable moment hit the pastor. He absorbed that he had suddenly realized that he had not known enough. He had prejudged, and that spelled trouble. Second, a sponge filters. It doesn't hang on to everything. Some stuff, gossip, bad habits, bad advice, needs to be squeezed out. That's where discernment comes in. We absorb, sure we absorb. Yes, but we have to filter what's worth keeping. Third, a sponge is flexible and can adapt. Try it. You can twist it. You can squeeze it. You can even dunk it into a bucket, and it still does its job. Life's a bit like that too. We need to be able to bend, not break, to stay resilient, even when life throws us in the deep end. And that's my favorite part. You see, when you squeeze a sponge, whatever's inside comes out. That's true for us too. When life squeezes us, in a crisis, under pressure, in a tough season, what comes out reveals what we've been soaking in. Is it bitterness? Is it grace? Is it complaining? Or is it compassion? What comes out of us under pressure, that's what we've been putting in. So, what's the takeaways of Dow's Weekly Digest? Be curious and keep learning. Never stop absorbing the good things. Filter out the junk. Not every opinion needs to become your truth. Stay resilient. Life will twist and test you. Keep bouncing back. And watch what you're soaking in, because sooner or later, life will give you a good squeeze. And remember, a sponge gives as well as takes. Once it's absorbed, it can give out again. That's what we're meant to do. Not just keep knowledge for ourselves, but pass it on. So today, I leave you with this simple encouragement. Be a sponge. Be a good one. Soak in wisdom. Filter wisely. Stay resilient. And when life gives you a squeeze, may what comes out be something that blesses all of those around you. Until next time, may you never forget that we all still have something to soak in, and sometimes to give back. And remember, I'm rooting for you. Yes, I am, because we're in this together. And blessed are those who ease the pain of misfortune, for they shall be called insurance agents. You take care.